What's going on, everybody? It's the Political Brown Kid here, and I don't know what's going on today, but I just did a review of the television show The Boys. Actually, it's the streaming show that's on Amazon Prime. And I don't have anything else to do, so while I'm in the house, I was put on, I just started watching Netflix, and Netflix has the television show Lost. If anyone remembers that show, it was on a network television. Now it's on Netflix, and it has Harold Perrineau in it. And Harold Perrineau, you probably know him from the Best Man movies, and you probably even know him from the television show From, which comes on Stars, I do believe. So he's in this show Lost. I've only seen up episode 15, 16 of season one, and this is the thing that's killing me because I told y'all about these white writers and these white studio producers and directors. Basically, the premise of the show Lost, if you're not familiar with it, it's a plane crashes on a remote desert island, and it's 46 survivors, and they're trying to figure out how to get off this island. Now, once again, you have an Asian couple. I do believe they're both Korean. So you have this Korean couple. They're on the island together. So there's a Korean man paired up with a Korean woman. Now, mind you, the woman was trying to get away from her husband, but she does admit on the island that she loves him, at least so far. Again, this is just season one. So you have an Asian man paired with an Asian woman. You have a white woman being pursued by, I think, two different white men. One is a doctor and one is some kind of swindler type guy. But, she's being pursued by these two fit, jaw chiseled men. And then you have Harold Perrineau. Of course, he's a single dad. Once again, I keep telling y'all, they always do this. They'll put an Asian with an Asian, a Latino with a Latina, and they'll put a white person with a white person. And then as soon as it comes to the black person, they're either gay or they don't have a nuclear family. They're not paired up with a woman. It's either going to be a mother with a child or a father with a child. You're not going to see that black person interact with another black person in a romantic relationship. So goes so far on this island. Harold Perrineau is with his son, and they're in the plane crash, and they're on this island. So each character on the show so far has had a flashback, basically showing what their life was like before they got to this island. And Harold Perrineau's flashback, and again, this mirrors up with the review of the show The Boys that I just did. In his flashback, first they show him before his son was born, because on this island, so let me start here real quick. On the island, him and his son are estranged. They don't get along. It's a very awkward relationship. Once again, black people just can't have loving relationships. This relationship is very awkward. He's trying to figure out how to bond with his son. And in fact, the show Lost parallels the show From. Once again, because in the endings may turn out to be the same. Harold Perrineau was in Lost. I know what happens at the end. I didn't see the whole show, but I know what happens at the end. And he has an estranged relationship with his 10-year-old son on Lost. But on the show From, which is currently on, and the new season will start in August next month, he's trapped in this remote town. All of these cars find their way to this destitute town, and they can't escape the town. And at night, these creatures come out to try to hurt them. But he has like a 20-year-old son in this show, and they're both estranged. Can't make this stuff up. But let's get back to Lost. He's paired with his 10-year-old son, who's he's estranged from, because his son was raised by his ex-wife. And we're going to talk, not even ex-wife, so not let me throw that in there, his baby mama. So that's very important to keep in mind. So the 10-year-old son was raised by Harold Perrineau's baby mama, and now he's trying to rekindle a relationship, and I'll tell you why in a minute. So it's very awkward. In his flashback, they show before the child was born, he was with his quote-unquote baby mama. So he's trying to convince her to name the child after his father. And so she basically says, okay, his name will be Walt Lloyd. And of course, that's not Harold Perrineau, who plays the character Michael on the show. That's not Michael's last name. So he's like, oh, so That's why you won't marry me, so you can make our son have your last name. And he's like, okay, I'm fine with that, as long as he can have my father's, so long as we can name him after my father, Walt. And so she's just like, okay, okay. So basically, she won't marry Michael, Harold Perrineau's character. And that's, he wants to, obviously, it seems like he wants to be with her, but doesn't want to be with him. And I guess the reason why is because later in the conversation, he starts to look at this baby crib, and she's like, that's way out of our budget. And he's like, well, when you become the lawyer, once you finish passing the bar and you start practicing international law, you'll be able to take care of me and our son. And so and then so she's like, well, you're going to give up painting? And he's like, yeah, I got this construction gig. Somebody can give me a construction gig, and, it's paying for now. But I'm still going to do my painting on the side. So basically, the black woman has to take care of this black man. And he's not the leader of his relationship. And I know black women are going to beat me up because we'll talk about the patriarchy. But of course, where I'm bringing this up is because women love a man who's doing better than her in a relationship. Whether he's leading or not, a woman respects a man more if he's being more of a provider than she is. So that's why I'm saying that this is important. So Harold Perrineau's character, Michael, is playing some out-of-work painter while she's going to school to become this big, grandiose, big-time, big six law firm type of lawyer. So now they have another flashback to where she comes to him, and now the child is born. The child looks to be about a year old, maybe 14 months old. So she comes to him and says that she wants to move to Amsterdam, I think. I do believe it was Amsterdam. And she wants to take the child with her so that she has a job opportunity practicing international law in Amsterdam, and she wants to give their relationship a break. And so he's like, well, you're going to take my son away from me? And she's just like, we need time apart. And she's basically standing firm saying, I'm taking the son. Who do you think the courts are going to side with? I'm his mother, and I'm a lawyer, and you're out of work. That you have no case against me. You'll never win. So that flashback ends. So once again, it's the black woman basically saying, there's nothing, I'm better than you, and the courts are going to see that I'm better than you, and I'm moving away from you, going to Italy. And then the other flashback occurs, and now he's on the phone. He's standing at a payphone because I'm assuming that this dude is so broke that he can't afford a phone, so he's standing at a payphone. And I guess he's talking to her while she's in Amsterdam. And he's like, well, let me speak to my son, put him on the phone. She's like, he's only 12, 14 months or whatever. He has nothing to talk to you about. So now, once again, the relationship between the black man and the black woman is contentious. He's like, I just want him to hear my voice. And then she's talking to him like, come on, I don't really have time for this right now. And then you can hear a man's voice in the background, and he's like, come on, honey, we got to go. And so she's like, not right now. So he's like, well, now Michael's saying, well, who's that in the background? Who are you talking to? And she comes clean and says, well, I just got to let you know I'm seeing someone else. And so Michael's like, well, I thought that you and I were going to work things out. I thought you just wanted to take a break, but obviously you just wanted to move on. And he's like, well, who is it? And she's like, well, it's Brad. And I do believe, no, was it Brad? But she basically throws out a name, and the voice in the background you can hear is clearly the dialect is a white man. And so he's like, oh, so the guy that hired you, you're now dating. And she said, it's not like that. It didn't start like that, but it turned out that way. So once again, the black man isn't good enough. She leaves, goes to Amsterdam, and then she's dating a real provider. And now why does this dude have to be like a big shot lawyer and the boss of the law firm? I'm not making this up. So now the final flashback that we're on, because after that scene when he gets off of the telephone, when he wants to speak to his son, he's basically saying, I'm coming to Amsterdam right now to get my son. I'm coming. I'm going to figure this out. You're there with another man. My son's there. I'm coming. And God knows all of us men know we've been at that point where you just like, no, I'm on my way. So as he hangs up the phone, spoiler alert, he tries to cross the street, gets hit by a car, gets it shatters his leg. He's in the hospital. So I guess they fast forwarded. I guess he's been in the hospital for about a couple of months. Guess who shows up at in his hospital room? His baby mama, ex-girlfriend slash baby mama. She's standing there. And then she's being all nice and chummy with him. So as she wheels him out, she's wheeling him out, I guess, to the car. You know, when they dispatch you from the hospital, you got to be in a wheelchair. She's pushing it. He's talking about all of his bills and the therapy he's going to need. She's like, I got you. I'm going to cover your bills for the next year. So then she drops the bombshell. She's like, well, I just have something to tell you. Me and Brad are getting married. His name's Brad, Ron. I don't know what it is, but the white dude, me and the white guy are getting married. He wants to marry me, and we're going to be moving to Italy because he's taking over the law firm there. And he wants to adopt Walt. And so I'm basically saying that to say this. This is the pattern of writing. And this show Lost is an old show. I don't know if people remember. This show Lost probably came on in 2002, 2006. I don't know. I remember it when it was on television. It was on one of the network channels, either channel NBC, ABC, or CBS. Maybe it's ABC. I don't know, but it was on one of those three networks. This is a very old show, so you young millennials may not remember this. I mean, you young Gen Zers may not remember this. But this show's been out there. And like I said, I know what happens at the end. But this writing dates back to then, and you still see the writing like they write this on The Boys. I just did a review. Go check it out on The Boys. When you look at the show From that Harold Perrineau also is on, basically it's the same premise. It's just that one, the plane crashes on an island, and in this one, you drive your car and you just magically wind up into this town that you can't get out of, that are infested by demon-like, zombie-like night creatures. And once again, he's a single dad with a estranged relationship with his child. Once again, no nuclear family. They don't want to write or interactive love stories for Black people. And when they do write it, they write rush stories. Like I told you with Laz Alonso and his quote-unquote ex-wife that he was trying to get back with, Monique, on The Boys. When they finally did let him kiss her, it was just a peck, and it was so emotionless, and it was just so lame. And now, once again on The Boys, the Korean guy has his Korean girl. The white girl has her pick of the litter between the other two strong, virile white men. And yet the Black guy is standing on the island having arguments with a 10-year-old son. I'm not kidding you. So I'm just looking at, this is what I've seen so far. Don't know how the series is going to turn out, but I'm pretty sure this writing will remain consistent. But people, this is what I mean by you're being brainwashed and conditioned. And you wonder why Black women get this idea that white men are so much better. It's because they romanticize this stuff on television. They romanticize it, they romanticize it, they romanticize it. And then, so that's why you have Black women that will either just choose straight bum Black dudes because those Black dudes look fantastic, but they're not worth anything, but they won't try a regular Black guy. Will not try a regular Black guy. A regular Black guy means nothing to them. And so once they get dogged out by the useless Black man, the sex symbol Black guy that they just use for intimacy, then they jump straight over to white men, and then they make a compare and contrast and say, see, at least my white man has a job. The Black man I was dating don't have a job because you didn't give all of the other Black men a shot at all. But this is the romanticization that's going on the internet. I told y'all, if you go on X right now, go on x.com, Elon Musk social media platform. I typed in the hashtag because, of course, I've been blurting things out about Kamala Harris, but I typed in the hashtag Black women because I was just going to hashtag Black women. And, it auto-populates with a, cached list of hashtags that kind of are similar to that when it starts out Black women. And the very first hashtag up at the top was Black women love, or Black women with white men. That was the very first hashtag. So obviously that hashtag is on and popping on X. And so I said, okay, well, let me see if there's a hashtag that's like Asian women for white men. I didn't see that. Didn't see Latina women for white men. Didn't see that. I didn't even see white women for white men. I didn't even see white women for black men. Didn't see anything like that. There was damn sure no hashtag that said black women love or with black men. There was nothing like that. It's always a black woman that likes to whore herself out for white men, acting very extra. Matter of fact, there was a video that was popped on X. It was on the X platform. Somebody must have been down in the DC area because they were at National Harbor at the MGM and they posted a video of some white guy singing Can You Stand the Rain? And because they do karaoke nights up there on Thursdays. And lo and behold, while the white guy's singing Can You Stand the Rain, and he's doing a good job of singing it, you got two black women with their drink in their hand trying to dance, and one woman is trying to rub her arms up and down his chest and his abs. And this is a regular looking middle aged white guy. And the black woman's and as she's doing that, she's dropping all down to the floor, trying to be all seductive with him and dancing with him. Then another black woman comes in and they come in and out. Black women are just acting a fool for white men. Had it been a black man up there singing, he'd have been singing to women with their backs turned. I don't make this stuff up. So this is just the world that we live in, and it's sad and it's pathetic. But Lost, they write this type of stuff, and they've been doing this for years. So to the creators of Lost and all of you other shows that continuously want to destroy black communities, you're doing your job. But black people, we need to do better. This is the Political Brown Kid. I'm out.